Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once we have all the updates and news, you'll be the first one of getting all the insight. Now, recently there has been a topic on the news in regards to whether or not of course, the government of Australia is looking to protect against the exploitation of migrant workers in Australia. Now, that news has been around since the Labor government has got onto the actual federal government side of it. So, but I want to take a different side of view in regards to this topic. So obviously there's news out there, a lot of people might have looked. They are migrants, whether or not you are international student, temporary workers, or perhaps you already got a permanent resident and you're still being treated differently. Obviously the government of Australia has enacted, and there is authority called a Fair Work Ombudsman to actually protect people, but due to the vulnerability of a visa holder, where there is potentially some sort of conditions that a lot of employers may or may not choose to exploit it. But look, this is not something that I wanted to go in detail. That's the dark side of it. But I wanted to talk about now whether or not a migrant should really start a small business in Australia. Now, over the past years, I've consulted and inquired with a lot of clients whether or not they actually got their permanent residency, very happy. They don't want it to be employed anymore. They wanted to perhaps be more entrepreneurial, come out and start their own business. So, and there's two sides. Now, they are people really innovative and creative. They start their own business while they are still as an international student, and they are people doing business after graduate, and they are people actually getting a new business after they getting a permanent residency. So what are the differences there, and is Australia a good place to start a small and medium-sized business? Well, look, over the past 20 years in my practice, I've seen so many. Now, obviously, they are success and they are failures. Let's talk about failure first. Now, first of all, obviously, Australia is, if you're a migrant, obviously, it's a new place with a new system. Despite there's a lot of law enforcement for protecting the fairness and just in the general atmosphere and circumstances, but going into a new atmosphere and new environment to start business obviously is harder than establishing a business in your origin of wherever that you're coming from, correct? Because we really need to think about if taking the element of migration away from studying a business, would you still do it? Will you still do it? Okay, and also need to come into a complex and complicated analysis in regards to whether or not that's something that you do, plus the expenses that is required to run and operate a business will actually benefit you. Now, obviously, we have started, myself, and my partner has started business a long time ago. We had a lot of experience in this one. The main majority of expenses in Australia will be human capital, for example, labor, employees costs, and the other one will be generally the leasing, the rentals. So either of this, you can not take advantage of them, but put your position. For example, if you do own a commercial a retail shop, then obviously then you don't have that kind of burden. You'll cut a lot of burden out of that. Or perhaps your profession is not labor intensive, by means it's a service base. For example, a lot of innovative people, they came out, they start designing software and things, and they are programmer themselves, or perhaps you are becoming a contractor of some sort of service, for example in the building industry or some sort, and you work for yourself. Then you don't have to pay that overload on that employee's cost to start with. Then that will actually generate the success of the business itself. Now, we have talked about the failures, and let's focus on the other side, that how migrant could actually successfully establish and operate a business. Now, to be honest, there's plenty of ways that people can start, but I really recommend people to start operate a business after they obtain permanent residency. Now, well, you may say, well, for sure, of course, if I don't have permanent residency, I don't have PR, why would I start business? But look, over the past 20 years, I've seen so many people, they start their own business, or they have been attracted by some sort, I don't know, business broker, friends, relatives, and they start business while they only holding student visa, other type of visa, student guardian visa, all type of visa. Even people without even visa, they wanted to start business in Australia. Well, look, to be honest, it's very, very risky to do so, because if you run out of visa, or you have contributed too much in the business and you fail your study, fail your tests, fail your examination, or you have failed whatever the visa condition that you have, then your visa will be deemed to be cancelled. And obviously then you lose your business as well. So not saying that you cannot do it. I mean, if you really need to think twice or perhaps 3 times to do so. Now, in the past, I mean, even nowadays, establishing business anywhere around the world, especially after pandemic, you got to be very, very, very careful, because the world is moving and changing very, very fast nowadays. If you don't really have that firm affirmative of what you can actually capture and the market that you can actually predict with, the risk of running a business or establishing a business anywhere around the world, especially holding not a permanent residency visa in Australia and establish a business, will be extremely risky. Now, this video is not for me to actually denounce or discourage people to start business, but I'm just saying we are in a very not difficult but a strange period of our time, where the steadiness and the it's not there. You look at the inflations, and you look at the interest rate hikes up, and all type of stuff going around the world. So I'll say, look, it's your choice, but if you don't hold a permanent residency, I really do not recommend you to start business. But even if you hold a permanent residency, you gotta be very, very careful in this period of time. Anyway, should you have more question or query, more than welcome to leave a comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.